Eight. Right. So, I think we're a little early, but I'm kind of excited. So let's go ahead and get this show going. Right. So, how are you guys? Right. So, I'm here to talk about my new campaign setting I'm working on. Urban fantasy for Savage Worlds. So it's set in modern day where most of the society doesn't know magic is or understands it. So I'm working on a system, setting where the Fae have control of two separate districts in the city. There's 3 different vampire seas. There's 4 were creature packs. There's the were lions, the were bears, the were tigers, and of course everybody's favorite, the werewolf. There is a district called Littleton that is just full of gnomes, and these gnomes have created gangs that are recognized by their colors that they wear. We have several different gangs in Littleton, and then up north we have a district called Silkway. It's called Silkway because the Queen of the Spiders lives there. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at the map here in a few minutes, just so I can point out the different districts and stuff like that. But I'm getting pretty proud of this little adventure here, where I use mainly 2 different sources to store my writing. I have Bella, which I use to actually write the setting and stuff like that. I'm going to use it to actually make the book. And then I have a campaign manager, that's really great, called Scabbard. And I'll be going through some of that software today, how I use Scabbard and how it functions. Mainly because I want to look at a few things on there, so we might as well look over the software too while we're So let's go ahead and let's go and there's questions. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Ooh, not the music I wanted. Skip that song. All right, let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to this is what we call Scabbard. Scabbard, right? Scabbard.com online. Have inside what's neat about Scabbard. You have what they call a graph system. Actually, so Grimwood is my main place. You have they're my districts, and then these districts have inside them separation even further down, such as the garage has a separation even further of the owners. So Howard separates everything into what, and everything has a connection to something else. It allows you to really drive forth the connection of different items back and forth. So I can say, example, go back to Mark here. I want to go into him. If I actually go into him, into the connections, and you actually put different things in, such as like ally of, antagonist of, birthplace. So Grimwood there. Allows you to like do like contact of a player, contact of employee of player, or employee group or place. Some of these can really come into great. And I'm not like to text nouns, so if you don't have all right, if you don't have a it a proper noun listed, it automatically tries to detect it and then gives you the options of entering it as a page type. And then once you do that, it actually gives you the option of actually linking that to something else. For now, though, this is the same as this one, so I'm just going to do similar. Mark it as similar. But this is... So, going a couple places that might show off the connections a little bit better would be, I put the Greasy Spoon. Greasy Spoon probably has quite a bit connections. Yeah. So, what's nice about the Greasy Spoon is I basically wrote out this description, and then I put some interesting NPCs that might show up. In fact, actually, Maureen listed. That's why. We fix that. You can fix that by going in here and just putting so that it knows. But what's cool about the connections is I've labeled this as a place category of food. So I go to my place. I go to my table of contents, I actually have a food section that separates out my places so I know what's going on. Like, I also have all my districts separated. So these are the 9 districts in Grimwood. Um, Don Row is the district for the Summer Fae. High Rise Center is really the business center of Grimwood. It's where most of the skyscrapers in Grimwood actually exist. Uh, Iron Chapel is it's named that because there is a chapel completely made of iron. Um, so I should back up actually. Um, so Grimwood. Grimwood is a sprawling metropolis with diverse population of over 1 million people, including werewolves, fae, vampires, and other magical creatures. The city is known for its bustling central business district and vibrant art scene, but also for its poverty-stricken slums and division between the haves and have-nots. The magical community known as the Gifted, so your werewolves, your fae, your vampires, your magic users, um, they keep their powers hidden, and they refer to the non-magical population as ironbound. They do this because back in the day when men discovered iron, it was detrimental to most fae and most magical people because it's resistant to magic. That being said, they decided to call them ironbound because they used iron to fight them. So the Gifted decided that they would hide their secrets and keep them hidden. Excuse me. So now, um, the reason why most of them are centralized or have a good connection in Grimwood is because there is an ancient city below the surface of Grimwood, and this ancient city was once thought to believe to be a haven for magic and monsters. And there are still some that live there today. We call it the Hall of the Feral Ones currently. The Hall of the Feral Ones is basically a monster city that lives underneath the suburbs, underneath the sewers of Grimwood. Uh, so, yeah, so really get to really move along that um, adventuring capabilities. So you have an underworld that is dark and secretive that you can go and explore with your adventurers. Um, it's going to be really fun to kind of put that into the world. Um, so, but basically, Grimwood has a dark history. It was the center for most of the wars in the world. It tends to have ley lines that are directly they coexist. They cross um they cross and they center around Grimwood. Um Nobody knows really why, but it definitely it is an epicenter of power. At least one of them in the world. Uh so they really focus in on that. So um that's louder for me than it is you guys. Um so that's where we're at. What I'm working on now is I'm actually working on a adventure called the Midnight Rites. Reason why I'm starting with an adventure, I figure it might be a good place to get my feet wet as far as writing is concerned. So we Basically, it has a nice introduction to Grimwood itself. And then I'm doing a setup of how you could get your adventurers into this adventure. And then the actual incident that causes the situation to happen. Some basics on what they could do for research prior to this. Um, and then basically you get them to the Church of Eustace, which will allow them to face off against a cult. So that's what I'm doing so far. Um, Kind of fun. I'm really enjoying it. It's it's hard. Won't lie. But it's getting there. Thought we were gonna work on that today, but I think I'm actually at a point where in that I don't want to spoil anything. So I think what we'll do instead is we'll just go through some of our make sure that all my groups have see really need to fill out the Order of the Black Suns. They're worshippers of Eustace, the god of destruction. He's pretty much the exact opposite of the main god that the Ironbound believe in, which is the Silver Flame. Eustace is a god that wishes destruction on pretty much everything and anyone. He doesn't care really how he gets it or who he hurts. So he's really trying to push that limit and stuff. Got any questions or anything? I know there's at least one person viewing. I don't know if that's actually was me checking it out earlier. But yeah, so I'm yeah. Oops. Not mean to do that. So, yeah, I don't. But I'm working on it. It's getting there. So if people don't know what Savage Worlds is, Savage Worlds is a campaign set. It's a campaign system that allows you to create multiple different types of systems. And the way it works is that all of your attributes are based on die types, not numbers. So you start out with all your attributes being a D4, and then at character creation, you can actually create. You get 5 points that you can spend to increase those attributes, and each time you increase them, it's a point. So you can go from, like, say you have a strength of you want a strength of a D8, that would cost you 2 points to go up to that because you start out at a D4, so it'd be D6 and then D8. So that would be 2 points. They have the attributes that they have in it is agility, figure, strength, spirit, and smarts. They all kind of do what you think they would. About the only one that's really different is smarts. I could actually. So Foundry is what I use mainly for game, and this isn't Grimwood, but thank you for the follow, Coffee Mama. But this allows you to see the character sheet. So basically, you get agility, smart, spirit, strength, and vigor. And then you get a whole bunch of skills that you can add to. And there's more than what's appearing there because a lot of them you'll get unskilled, which is actually or -2. It's always at a -2 for unskilled. And so skills go very quickly. I mean, you have lots of skills that you can use from. There are some that you start with. You start with athletics, common knowledge, notice, persuasion, stealth, and unskilled. So they assumed your character, being an adventurer, would have those skills to start. So this is Foundry, and if people are interested, I can definitely break down Foundry. Getting pretty good at it. I've created a module in it already, and I want to do more. So see what happens with that. We could definitely break down Foundry at a later. That being said, going back here, we need to see. I need to work on. See. I definitely need to work on the here for God. Let's see, what can I say about that? As far as the modern day version, let's put down that they are charitable. Because even though they are a charitable, charitable because, well, they're cult, but they also run a church, so they gotta maintain their setting. They do have a church in Wolfwater. I don't have a church name for it. Let's see. Anybody have any good names out there? Let's get to name generator and see if we can't come up with something. Okay, well, let's see here. Maybe I can do this. Holy book names, though. Oh, let's do church. Oh, I guess I could just call it the Church of Usus. I don't want. What is that? How do they keep themselves hidden? It's an important fact of Grimwood, because everybody is that has magic hidden in the world. So it's important to know how they're going to maintain being hidden in the world. So we'll call them the Church of Eustace. They're definitely charitable, hidden. Need to create a leader for them. Actually, we have a leader. He's in jail. Right. We need a second in command. Second in command. Actually be running the place while the leader is being put in jail. Came up with a leader. So I can write it. Put it in. I have not put it in. Victor Sheldon. Right. Victor Sheldon. So, what's really cool about Scabbard is if I save this right now, it's not really well written, but if I save it, it's going to ask me, hey, who's Victor Sheldon? Well, I can say, hey, he's a character. I've used Victor a couple times. I'm going to have to. And we're going to call him the leader of the Black Sun, Order of the Black Sun. And then Church of Eustace, that's going to be a place. It's going to be a place, headquarters. Black Suns. The place, and we'll just mark that as their headquarters. There we go. So those two have been marked, and you'll see that they actually create a connection tab on my connection tabs now. So now I have information on this. Now I've brought down some more information. I'm going to go ahead and copy character sheet so that I know in secrets that he was found to be involved with drugs within the city and was sentenced to be part of the crackdown on drug-related crimes. There are no actual drugs that were found on his person, and the court did not have enough evidence through text messages and other sources that he had activity in selling crimes, but the judge issued a softer sentence because there was no findings of him actually selling the drugs. So, yeah. So, oops, terrorist wrong. He has no relationships with the Order of the Black Sun, which the local police believe to be a terrorist cell. Has a relationship. In reality, it's a cult that believes chaos and destruction are the only solution. Put that in there to make him. Yeah. So he's there. We'll need to see if I can't come up with something. All right, we're doing Order of the Black Suns. Okay, so we know that they're hidden. We know that they're charitable. That their leader is Victor Sheldon, with a second Billy. The second in command. We'll put him down. Say, okay. So the Black Suns only are they usually down world chaotic. Okay, worship of the Eustace god of destruction, an exact opposite of the Still Flame. Eustace is the god of destruction. His order of the Black Sun. Work in church. Eustace to handle their launder, their Criminal activity. A activity, criminal activity using the nonprofit church. What else can we put? Under the crime activities using churches, they maintain secrecy through a ritual, uses to cause physical pain to anyone when we have the spell work. Physically cause pain to people, anyone who speaks order outside of church itself. Oh, they're really tied to the church. Like that. So they're tied to the church. They hold fundraisers monthly for children who do like them hold fundraisers. Monthly use launder their money with church itself is actually run by a group who are the order sorry about that, dog had to go. They hold fundraisers monthly, which used to launder the money with auctions. Church itself is actually run by a group of priests who are a part of the order. But not actually members. Let's add some innocence to this church. They hold fundraisers monthly, but not actually members. Leaders are seen as godly figures, worshipped, cherished. One such Leave from. So this group is going to be kind of like alt, but also like doomsday preppers. Like the whole base of their religion is on doomsday and destruction. So they're going to definitely have this like cult leader type saving the world if he to sell their property and go live in the forest, and that's what they would do. He has been touched by Eustace to help save them from the end of the world. As shown to the world, he can produce miracle handling. Yeah, I need to make a decision. Actually, have powers. I think he does. I think that's going to be the best option. Is seen as he actually has powers, but is seen as a heretic. I spelled that wrong, but that's it. Billy. Billy Johnson is his second follows there goes more of a thug, is a leader. He's not a smart man. Definitely. All right. Rid of that. So, all right. So this is what I do now. First save, so that I can get all the pronouns. That's Victor Sheldon. Cult leaders. Placed it. Order. That's going to be the Order of the Black Flame, Black Suns. Billy Johnson is a new character. Second for Black Suns character. Order of the Black Suns. Oh, yeah. Now, now that I have it written down, here's what I do. I work this way. I don't know if it's. Oh, hello, JK. How are you? I should watch that chat a little bit further. So, so that's pretty much how I'll leave them because that gives me enough to deal with for um for the time being. Finish off the adventure that I'm writing. Victor, on the other hand, is hey, Brim. Yeah, I'm glad somebody showed up. I and is talking. Um, Makes it easier. Oh, I wanted to show one thing that you can do is one neat thing about Scabbard is they actually have an AI agent called Alejandro. What I can do is I can try to build more world building ideas from Alejandro and see what he comes up with. I'll come up with five initial ones, as long as he's not broken. All right, so he came up with five different ones. It's yeah, the craziness of the process. And then you can refresh and get five more. So I usually get all five. I usually don't read them because I can only get five at a time. So usually five using the AI. And then what that does is it brings it up and puts it in scripts, and then I read them. A good question. So I'll place that up there. Um, channel. What kind of rituals does the Black Sun see? That's a good idea too. So I'll place that. Think about it. Yeah, I've already thought about that. Colonel activities occasion. What does Vic Sheldon use to produce his miracles? That's twice that I gave it. What does the ritual of the order cause pain? Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. How does the Church of Eudas benefit from the Order of the Black Sun's activities? And what is the extent of Billy Johnson's leadership? All of those are kind of. I got a couple of good ones out of there. You don't always get a whole bunch, but sometimes you do. What kind of criminal activities is Black Suns do? I would say they do. They're gonna do drugs. Obviously, because I have their leader in drugs. Going to do era stacks. I hate spelling. Terra stacks. Did you get any other ideas, Brim? They'll do gun selling too. Black market gun. And for their charity audition, actually do artwork, replica sales, fake art. They'll do those ones. What kind of rituals do they do to maintain secrecy? They have the. Let's drop down to this one. How do the Black Orders? How does the ritual used by the Black Orders? So they actually get a tattoo. Three people. They actually get a tattoo that will send electrical pain electrical pain through the nervous system to the brain. Through the nervous system to the brain when thoughts of the order spoken outside. You have to use rabbit. All right, that's kind of cool. About that one. These are it's gonna. This is so that's cool. This is going to be a cool little cult that the player have to. So there we go. All right, so that gives me a general idea of that cult and what. Now there's two ways that I can proceed. I can go back to ask. What I can do is kind of get some ideas, but I'm not quite ready for those yet. That's an option. Scabbard is a useful little tool that I used for campaign setting. So in the chat. So what I'm doing is I'm in a city called Grimwood. Basically, it's populated with a whole bunch of gifted and non-gifted. Gifted are creatures who have magical powers, such as vampires, werewolves, half angels called archlings, and they all refer to the non-magical people as Ironbound. The reason why they do that is the Ironbound are regular humans, but the humans, when the Iron Age came about, they used those to fight off the monsters that are actually real in this world. Even though, the monsters or the gifted decided to become quieted with their system, their existence. So they used falsehoods from fairy tales and stuff to lead people off into unknown places for them and think they're fictional, but in reality they exist. So that's basically Grimwood. It's basically a melting pot of all these different magical creatures, and the reason why it's a melting pot, also kind of like the center of the actual world for magic, because all of the ley lines seem to cross across the Grimwood City. So that's why we have that. So it has several different groups are going to be involved. There's 3 different vampire seas. There's a red one, a black one, a white one. There's 4 different creatures. They're werewolves, weretigers, werebears, and werelions. And then you have your winter and summer court fae. You have a group of um, archlings that are part of the Flame uh, religion that actually protect the Ironbound from these creatures through miracle, I think paladin kind of like substance. Um, so and then you have uh on top of that you have um an entire gnome gang system, which is kind of, I think, going to be kind of fun because they're all known for the different colors, so they wear colors based on what they are. Uh, and then you have a troop of goblins that live in the sewer system. The sewer system actually leads into an underground ancient city that Grimwood was built on top of, and the ancient city is actually a city full of magical monsters and creatures, but there is a center to the city that has not been explored that is ancient ruin system that goes down underneath. That's the Grimwood Police Department, or the GWPD, are going to be complete idiots on most things supernatural. Obviously, you're going to have one or two that will know. Um, then you're going to have the Oversight Reaction Bureau, or ORB, and they're going to be like the government officials of the world. They're the ones that are like FBI, X-Files type scenario. And then you have your Order of the Silver Flame, which is like your clerics and your paladin type ironbound people who know that the world exists and decided that they wanted to fight these monsters through mystical means using their god of the Silver Flame. Then you have the Arcane Circle, which is a group of wizards who rule over the wizardy kind with an iron fist. They're a council of wizards who make all the decisions. And then you have the Coven, which is a group of witches or warlocks who are pretty much fighting the Arcane Circle. They find that they mistreat people of their kind and that type of thing. Like I said, you have 3 vampire courts, and then you have the werepacks, which all have a piece of territory in the Wolfwater district. The districts are separated out. The districts are separated out into 9 different districts. You have the major one being Wolfwater. It's also the poorest one. A lot of the buildings in this place are crumbling and falling apart. You have Marble Rock Piers. This is kind of where a lot of the imports and exports come out of wood. You have the Winterbrick Bank and Dawn Row. Both of these are Fey-owned districts. Again, Ironbound don't know anything about them, so they rule these districts in a secretive way. The High Rise Center is basically your business center of Grimwood. It's going to have a lot of the skyscrapers and stuff, so most of your city line will be right there. Obsidian is going to be more of a richer upscale class type situation. Really the ruling pack in that is the vampires, but the archlings tend to have a good chunk of that area too. The Archlings definitely rule the Iron Chapel. The Iron Chapel is a big building on the hill that has a giant park in front of it beforehand. Uh, the Iron Chapel is completely made out of iron, 100%. And it was used in a great battle to fight off a mass of vampires. But the Archlings pretty much patrol Iron Chapel on a nightly basis. Silk Way is kind of like a free for all area, but there is a leader. Her name's the Queen of Spiders, Nicole Collins, and she is, as you would think, a were spider, one of the few that exists, and she has some were spiders that work with her, and she produces silk out of this area. On top of that, she also runs a um, burlesque parlor out of there. So this is pretty much how it's broken up in the city. Uh, and then, so that's how I've pretty much broken it up as far as that. Um, you have a mayor of Grimwood who sort of knows about mystical underworld belly, but not really. He's kind of kept out of the loop on purpose. Um, let's see. You have different corporations that exist in the high rise facility that actually are run by the mystical beings of the realm. You do have dwarfs in there. There are some dwarfs. There's some dwarfs that work at the high rise facility doing mostly banking, so they maintain the dollar amounts in the world. And then you have the Brown Shield clan, which really are your hard workers in the Marble Rock. Here, they tend to do a lot of the pier work. They also travel just south of the city to a mining facility and do some mining. Uh, yeah, so that's what I've got so far. I mean, I still have a lot to do. Like, I'm just now creating a cult, and I'm sure there will be multiple cults in the world. Any questions? Like, or any ideas that I could add to the world? Always up for idea. Yeah, so that's my last followers. I'm gonna have to fix that. Um, yeah, so it's all gonna be based in Savage Worlds. Savage Worlds being a basically a die system based game. It's when I say die based system, what I mean is they, instead of having numbers for stats, you have dice versions. So you could have a D8 or a D6 or a D4 for a particular stat. You can actually go up to D12, but um, you don't actually have like a number to go with it. It's just that that's what you roll. So I'm looking forward to getting doing well so far. I have basically most of the districts written down, what they're going to be in the book, including the Hall of the Pharaoh ones, which is under an ancient city down in the below the sewers of Grimwood. I have a basic idea of Halboro Bay. I have some new races that are going to exist of the Ironbound, which are all of my races are going to be a +3, where the base book is a +2. So they'll be a little bit more powerful, but not out of control. So if you really wanted to use it, you could easily manipulate it into the world. So we have the Ironbound, which obviously is your plain human. You have your dwarfs, your elves. You have archlings, which are the half angel, half humans. They're taken as children to get trained into how to fight demons and monsters, right from the very edge of their existence. Like I said, werewolves, werebears, the werelions, weretigers. You have the red vampires, the white vampires, and the black vampires. You have goblins, fae, and gnomes also as playable characters. So it will be fun. You can play multiple different characters. I've created a couple hindrances based on like one is for fae. Fae are often seen as unpredictable, devious. You may find themselves at odds with those who do not understand or trust their abilities. They may also be hunted by those who fear the power of the fae. So having that bloodline in you can be a little bit hindrance. Then you have a vow pack where you make a connection to your pack, and because you made that connection, you have a major vow to pack leader in the alpha. So I've also given some new edges, some that are based in pack mentality, some are based in fae, others based on other things. Definitely working on that. Ooh, I've come up with some arcane backgrounds. Like I've created fae magic, which is basically fae magic. It will be a background that you can choose that will give you manipulation of nature and energy and elements and that type of thing. I've also created a pack magic arcane background, which gives you a bond with your pack. And I've created a new spell for that. It's pack bond. The character may reach out through the pack bonds and enhance one of their fellow packs mates in one of the following ways. So you can increase their fighting, you can increase their toughness, or you can accept one of the wounds and take their wounds from them. So I've come up with some new powers, like nature manipulation. It's very similar to elemental manipulation, except that it's going to be based on plants and that type of thing. And then this is the part I'm working on the most, is different magical societies that exist in the world, the different packs, Ironbound type groups, factions. You got the vampire seats. You got the magical criminal element. So you got your gnome. You got your gnome gangs here. You got your goblins. You got your different corporations because they're gonna come into play. I think of the corporations kind of like Shadowrun would do. They're not good. They're corporations kind of rule everything, and they're a pain in the butt. And then you got your dwarven clans, like I said. And then I'm going to come up with influential characters that you can put into the city so that you can have NPCs to start with. And I started working through the different politics of the different realms. How do the different districts react to each other? How does, I mean, obviously, winter and summer Fae are going to be at odds with each other. How exactly does that work? Still working on that part. Politics is one of my weaker skills, I would say. Definitely working on flipping it. Um, and so that's what I got so far. So I got quite a bit so far. Now, it's not all cohesive and it all doesn't flow. I need to make it so it flows one out. Like it actually flows in a book. Right now it's all just kind of organized but not together, if that makes sense. Um but I think I really appreciate you showing up, Brim. And the two other people that haven't. Um, I think my throat is starting to give out because I'm not used to doing this. So I think I'm going to call this one here. I really do appreciate you coming out, and thanks so much. Um, have a great night, guys, girls.